Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Fletcher Perry. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to write nursing project research proposal. This is going to be guided by the book of which I am the author, and the book is titled Guidance to Writing Nursing Research Project Proposal, and its ISBN number is 978180094691, and it can be found on Amazon by using this link. This is the front cover of the book, and you can easily recognize it. A bit of introduction. As I've said, I'm Dr. Fletcher M. Perry, and I'm currently an online tutor for Masters in Public Health, Doctorate in Public Health, Doctorate in Public Health Professional Practice, Healthcare Management, and Nursing. I work for quite a number of universities as well as on my own. I like to support the other students who actually is my passion with their assignments, dissertations, thesis, and project through online tutorials. A background about the nursing, why nursing is extremely important at the moment. The first reason is that there is a global shortage of nurses. Obviously, this has been made worse by COVID-19 pandemic. In the UK, where I'm based, nursing shortages is not a new thing, although I've learned that this was also a global problem. I've seen obviously data from Canada, from America. There's a plenty of vacancies which obviously are failing to be filled for nurses, but obviously COVID-19, majority of nurses were actually on the front line. So as a result, the risk for contracting COVID-19 actually increased. So many of these nurses who contracted COVID-19 either dead or they are disabled in such a way that they are not able to work again. So that has made things worse. The good news is that also there is the advancement in technology, and this obviously has provided opportunity for adults to study nursing in the comfort of their own home, where they can balance their studies with other commitment they have. So many adult students are actually studying nursing using actually online platforms, which obviously they can learn from anywhere, and also it's much more flexible, and they can have work balance life, which obviously makes life easier for them. Now, the research proposal is not necessarily divided into chapters, but I've done this, organized this way to make life easier for you so that you can follow. In most of the cases, these are going to be headings and subheadings that you need to provide in your proposal. However, let me also remind you that if you get your proposal right, you have done almost halfway of your dissertation or your project, depending which university you go to and how they classify it. But otherwise, the process of doing it is exactly the same. So in here, I have actually decided to use the chapters, which obviously they correspond with what I've written in the book. So chapter 1 or subheading 1 could be actually is choosing your research project topic. This is extremely important. In this actually chapter, you are told how you can actually choose the topics so that the topics are relevant to the your study as well to the nursing professional specialty that you are interested in. So it says this provides you with actually knowledge and understanding of how you can choose your nursing project topic. And obviously, the good choice makes you to maximize your chances of success and also to achieve improved grade. In also this chapter obviously provides you topics from previous students, which obviously you can learn from. So it's important that you look at how others have actually, what topics others have chosen before, and then you can refine the same topic to fit your own work. So that is much more useful. I have seen quite a number of students asking me, what topic should I choose? No, I can't choose a topic for you because this is your own work. It's not my work, it's your work. But I can only guide you if the topic is relevant, but also is aligning with your study, which means the qualification that you need to achieve. So for example, there's no way you can choose a geography topic when you're actually studying nursing. No, it needs to be relevant to nursing field. So nursing field also has got so many specialties or so many different areas, which obviously you can focus on. Okay. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, although it comes actually at the very beginning, it is normally written last because an abstract is a summary of the whole of your proposal. So students find it difficult to write because they want to write the proposal, I mean the abstract, before they write the proposal. The best here is obviously to write the whole proposal first and then summarize, because it's a summary of the whole proposal. So summarize the main areas of your proposal to form the abstract. As I've said here, once the topic has been chosen, you need obviously to write a proposal for your research project. In some universities or nursing schools or nursing colleges, the research project topics may be provided, but this is very rare. They prefer to actually you choose the topics based on the different areas that you have covered when you are in class. So mostly likely those topics will come from what you have learned, not something which is completely out, otherwise it will be difficult for you to write. So usually you are provided proposal framework, and that's the common way of doing it. This probably may be finding it in the assessment criteria or assessment guidelines that you have been provided. So, and now this framework, you need to follow it. So most of the universities, they have provided the headings and subheadings, which actually form the structure of your proposal. But there are also, these might be useful in terms of how you structure your final dissertation before you submit it, or project, a report before you submit it. Now, one of the elements of the research proposal is abstract, which is a brief background, and it should have the aim of the research, and then propose the methodology and the methods you will actually use to conduct your proposed research project. And then, because this is a proposal, then we are only, what do you expect actually to get? What do you expect to find? So expected results. And then what would you actually think of concluding from those expected results, and what the actual recommendation you anticipate to have? Now, these are not necessarily that they are going to be the ones, but at least it shows that you have been thinking. So if you get things that are completely outside, then you start questioning whether you have done correctly what you wanted to do, okay? Because you need to explain why actually these results are different from what you were expecting. Right, but does not prevent you actually to think ahead, because to help you to check whether you're getting those results. Do not force your research to get findings that actually you propose. No, these are just expected. Okay. And then chapter 3, obviously we want to know the background and the aims, objectives, and then research questions. So these elements need to be in your proposal. So the chapter 3 of this book is also about how to write background to your study, and then what are the aims of your research, what are the objectives of your research, and then what are the research questions that you actually you are expecting to answer at the end of it. Now, in also this chapter, you learn how to write your research or project rationale. Many students find this quite difficult. I don't understand why. So I've tried to explain in the book what actually rationale is. Rationale is more to do why are you so passionate? Why have you chosen to do research in this particular area? As I've already said, there are so many areas in nursing, for example. But why did you specifically pick this particular area for you to study or to research? It might probably, all you need to do is probably think of the gap you identified when you were reviewing the research that you are using, or reviewing reviewing the studies that you had, and then you find that probably there's a gap in the knowledge, and then you want your findings to close that gap. So doing it that way, or you might find there's a weakness in the services, and then you feel that the services can be improved, or they are not meeting the needs of your patient. So obviously you feel that if you do the study, then it's going to be easier for you to provide evidence-based framework that you can use to change and improve the nursing practice that actually is currently being practiced, because it's not meeting the needs of your patient. So the rationale is obviously simple as why you're so passionate about conducting this study in this particular area. As I said, there are many examples of obviously research aims, research objectives, research questions, and rationale, which you can learn from. They have been provided from previous students. So you can learn from, and also what the advantage that each of these, there are feedback which provide suggestions how they can improve where they went wrong. So in a sense, you are learning from your previous fellow students' mistakes. And in that way, you prevent to make your own. Chapter 4, again, this is one of the important area, because this is your own, starting from your own. This is the most important. Now, obviously, you're going to propose the methodology and methods. Now, you realize that the methodology, in most cases for nursing, they tend to ask you to do desk research or secondary research. So that's your methodology. But then you need, again, methods, which obviously involves a lot of search strategies. So identifying your databases where you're going to find your secondary data, and obviously you need to have search words which are going to help you to identify the articles you're looking for, and then obviously you need to have inclusion and exclusion criteria. You may have actually to use the Boolean operators in order either to reduce or increase depending how you're using them. So this is very important. And then at the end, you may want to use CASP in order to assess the credibility of the studies that were conducted in those papers or those articles that you want to use in your own research. So I said there are many methodologies and methods you can use to conduct your proposed research project. Therefore, you need to explain why you have selected these methodologies and these methods that you want to use in your proposed research project. Now, answering the question why is what is known as justification. So the justification of your choice of these methodology and methods. Now, for example, let's take methodology. So your methodology is desk research. So the next question is, why have you chosen to use desk research as a methodology? Obviously, what we are talking about is the advantages of secondary research, which you can find them in many research books. So these things don't come from your head. They have to come from a research book which you have actually read, because you will need the references to support. So you need in-text citations in a recommended format in order to support the justification of what actually you are using, or why you have chosen to do that. And as I've said there, the reasons you give should come from research methods book or research articles you have read, and you justify by putting in text citation in a recommended format. Now, recommended format is going to be given to you by actually your own university guidelines. Now, why use actually secondary research? Many universities and nursing schools or colleges do encourage their students to conduct secondary research, which is also known as desk research. And I said this is a methodology, so you don't have to put another different methodology. If you are doing primary research, there are other different methodologies could use. Now, obviously, Chapter 5 focuses on what are methodologies and the methods that students use in their proposed desk research or secondary research, and how to justify your choices. This involves, as I said, search strategies, which include identification of your databases, and then you justify why you are actually choosing those. And again, there is a resource in the research methodology book which are accepted. Use of search words, again, justify why you're using search words. Use of inclusion and exclusion criteria, again, justify why you're using inclusion and exclusion criteria. And then you probably may want to use a CASP, or you want to use a Prisma if you require it. So again, you need to justify why you're using them. Now, obviously, as I said, this chapter tend to also trouble many students. So because it deals with application of theory, not writing it. So students find it very hard. So what I've done in this book, I've provided both how it is presented in the proposal, and then also how it is presented at the end of, which means in your dissertation, which means after you have conducted your research. Right. Okay. So then obviously research is made up of a series of activities. We call these obviously these activities that you need obviously to manage them. So you need to allocate resources to these activities. It's not a single activity. So that's why it's called a research project. So obviously, as I said, the research project is made up of series of activities which need to be run in correct sequences. Some activities need to be done first before carrying out the next ones, and others may actually happen at the same time. Research also needs allocation of time and also other resources, so very important. And then you need to make sure that the research will be conducted and be completed on time. There is a need to have a research management plan. So your research management plan need to be realistic, and that's the plan you will follow when you start conducting research. So you'll be translating this project proposal into actual research. So therefore, you need to develop this and summarize them in the form of Gantt chart. You can find the Gantt chart easily in the, just Google it. You should be able to find examples of those. There are obviously some used in the chapter 6 of this book, so you should be able to learn from them. Then obviously we need a management plan for research generated or acquired data. So as you are conducting your research, you need to think through what sort of data you're going to be generating or you're going to be acquiring. Now, as I said, it is inevitable that during your research project, you will acquire and generate data that is specific to your project. Now, obviously, this will provide you the opportunity to think through, to carefully identify and describe such data. As a researcher, you need to understand the risks that some of these generated or acquired data pose to both your own reputation and to the participants to your research, or even the participating organization. Therefore, you need to develop a plan for managing such sensitive data so that you can reduce the risk of getting into wrong hands. It's extremely important, okay? However, because you are using secondary data, which actually reduces such risks. So why? Because this data is already in the public domain. So you can see why many universities and colleges they encourage their students to do desk research or secondary research rather than doing primary research, is to actually to reduce this risk. Lastly, as you are going along, you were providing evidence, justification of everything that you are claiming or you are arguing. Now, those justification, they involve the in-text citation in the recommended format by your university. Now, those references, they need to come as a full references at the end. So this is what chapter 8 is about. It deals with how to account for all the in-text citations you have used to write your research proposal. Remember, do not put a reference which you haven't used in the proposal. No, don't do that. Now, so it is important that only references you have used to support your claims and arguments in your proposal are shown in this reference list in the format recommended by your university or college. Now, each university may recommend its own format and check and use the format recommended by your university or college. Now, in this book, I've used the Harvard because it aligns with the format recommended by majority of universities and colleges whose students have supported. Does not necessarily mean that's the correct one. No, your university might recommend a different one. So you just need to see what is actually recommended or which one is recommended and follow that. Okay. Now, there are other books which obviously I've written. These are a couple of them, and then obviously add their link. So if you are happy or if you are interested, you can go and get into to check these books, which help you with your assignments. And also, you can also obviously use soft copies. They are both hard copies and soft copies. So you can order either soft copy or hard copy. If you need anything from me, these are my contact details. I'm based in UK, but also I've got a website where you can find other things that I do. I hope this helps. Currently, I'm actually supervising a new cohort of students who have actually been sent to me. They are doing a master's in public health. So they are actually struggling with this proposal. They are at the proposal stage. They have chosen the topics, and then they are only allocated to me once the topics have been chosen. So it has actually reminded me that I needed to remind those people who are doing nursing, as well as those who are doing masters in public health or any degree in healthcare management. This is obviously the same. There's no difference at all. So you can make use of them. Okay?